So what I'm going to say next is going to cause an uproar. And I might not be very popular saying it, but whatever you think you know about the East group, West group, or your Qua numbers, forget about them. Based on the way that I'm trained by my grandmaster, we do not use Qua numbers the way that mainstream media has it. Surprise, surprise. In our school, Qua number usage is actually considered a more advanced level. So there's definitely a little bit more nuance when it comes to using Qua number and how, in terms of how the energies, the Feng Shui energies relates to the client. We're not going to go into that because, like I said, that's actually a level 2 certification course. I'm not gonna be able to go through all that in a social media post like this, but I'm sure that you have been researching and reading up on Feng Shui because all you want is to make sure that you get good results, right? So here's how you do it without the Qua numbers. Hi, my name is Safrina Kadri, and I'm the founder of Feng Shui and Prosper. And in this 15 video series, I am giving you a 101 crash course on what is real Feng Shui so that you can finally get real results. If you've been watching my previous videos in this 15 video series, you've probably seen this before. This is an example of a permanent energy chart of a house that is period 8 facing south 2 or south 3. And this is the chart that I went through, I believe in video 2 or video 3 of the video series where I talk about this is the real Feng Shui Bagua. By the way, if you want a copy of this real Feng Shui Bagua, just comment below and I'll send you a DM with a link to download, okay? So we have 9 numbers in flying stars, right? And each of these numbers relate to their own body parts, just like how number 9 will have impacts on the heart and the eyes. Number 2 will have impacts on the abs and so on and so forth. But we've also covered in a previous video how, for example, number 9 is linked to the middle daughter, meaning a female who is single, older than 14 years old and no kids. In my Feng Shui lineage, the concept of middle daughter, youngest daughter, oldest son, for instance, has nothing to do with birth order. I'm not going to go through all that again. Go back to my previous videos in this series where I talk about that. And you also figure out the elements based on this 5-element cycle here. Again, this was covered in a previous video as well. I'm not going to go through all that now. I'm just going to put this aside for now, and we'll talk about certain examples of the top left and top right combinations, the mountain star and the water star combinations, okay? For instance, we can use the combination of 4 and 6, okay? 4 mountain star, 6 water star. The element of 4 is wood. I have it in green, okay, wood. And the element of 6 is metal. I have it in gray, right, metal. And 4 is the oldest daughter. So female, married, no kids, oldest daughter. And 6 is the father. I know it's upside down, but this is the patriarch. Okay, so 6 being metal and 4 being wood, what does metal do to wood? If you look at this, metal destroys wood, right? So therefore, a room that has the energy of 4, 6 would be bad for the oldest daughter, female, married, no kids. So there are homes where it's multi-generational, right? So the relationship between that daughter, so married female with no kids, would not be harmonious with the father, the patriarch in that household. So you either don't put the father in that room or you don't put the person in the household that falls under the oldest daughter category. Because if that were to happen, then they would have issues with the patriarch would have issues with the older daughter, okay? And the other thing too, with metal cutting the wood, it also means that the wood would be weak here, right? It's destroyed. So the health issues that you're likely going to see are around hips, butts, or sexual organs. So it could be as simple, or on the lower end, it could be like diarrhea or something like that. On the higher end, it could be more serious level. It could be like vaginal cancer, testicular cancer, breast cancer. So you want to make sure that someone who has the potential to develop that does not use that room. So who would be the safest to use this room? You can put other males in there, except for the patriarch. Let me share 2 case studies with you, which goes to show the Qua number has no impact on the result or the experience that the people have in that house. So the first case study, this came to me many, many years ago when a friend's cousin found out that I was a Feng Shui consultant. So she came to me and she said, hey, Safrina, I'm here in Toronto. And she said, hey, Safrina, I've always wondered about this Feng Shui in this old place that me and my cousins, we rented in Montreal. So what happened was her older cousin rented it first. She lived there on her own. She met her husband and moved out and transferred the lease to another cousin. And that second cousin went into that house, lived in that house, met her husband, and moved out. And then this particular lady that I spoke with, she was the third cousin to move in. So the lease transferred to her. She moved in. She also met her husband and moved out. And so her question was, do you think that was like a relationship house? I'm like, absolutely. Because these three women have different guas, have different trigrams. However, the energy of the master bedroom is good for relationships. And I'm assuming they place their bed the same way as well, right? Most people do. And so it doesn't matter who goes in and out of that house, that bedroom has relationship energy, right? Of course, when we talk about karma and all that, if you have karmic debt around relationships, that's another thing. But right now, we're just focusing on the Feng Shui portion of the situation, because she was like, it's more than coincidence now. The three of us, all three of us, we met our partners, our husbands, and we moved out, right, to be with our partners. So that's case study number one. Case study number two, I have a client and we Feng Shuied the place that her principal residence, so the place that she lived. And we also looked at the Feng Shui of another house that she rented out. And she came to me specifically wanting to get a promotion. She wanted to get promoted to VP level, but was having a hard time with that. That's when she brought me in. And when I took a look at both the house that she was currently living in and the house that she was renting out, I said, the energy in the house you're renting out is better for career progression. And I was initially a little bit worried about suggesting for her to switch to go into the rental. But in fact, she came back to me and said, you know what? My current tenants, they gave me notice recently because they kept getting promotions since they moved into that house. They managed to save up for their own down payment. So they gave me notice because now they bought their own place. So I said, perfect. Now you move into that house and you rent out the house that you're currently living in. So that's what she did exactly. And guess what? She got her VP promotion finally. So again, we're not looking at gua number. We're not looking at family roles, but the innate permanent energy of that house works for everyone. Sure, different people would have different degrees of how it impacts them, but the permanent energy is innately there. So that is where I say proof is in the pudding. As long as your flying star is set properly, your placements are done properly, it doesn't matter who lives there, you will be able to absorb, you will be able to tap into peak prosperity flow, no matter who you are. So if you've missed any of my previous videos, because I have 15 videos in this series, you can go back and look for the previous ones just so you can keep up with my slides that I've shared here. But if you want to be served the full 15 video course in one sitting, like the whole buffet, then click on my link in bio. I have a page where I've put everything together. And again, if you want a copy of this one sheet here, just comment below and I'll send you a DM with a download link.